Okay, so this is obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, checkers, hoarders, counters, cleaners. And this is by Tabitha Brown, Lucas Chen, and Chandler Carey, and we're period 5. So, what do we already know about OCD? We know that it's classified as an anxiety disorder, and we already know about anxiety disorders. They are related to results of emotion processing issues, and research suggests that OCD is related to problems with executive functioning, which is kind of different than this emotion processing issue. So, some basic definitions are that the individuals that have this try to ignore them, suppress them, or neutralize them with a different thought or action. And so that's more of the obsession, and more on compulsions would be that they're meant to counter anxiety or distress or to prevent a feared event or situation, but they're not realistically connected to these outcomes, or they're not excessive. So the formal diagnosis, these are pretty long, so to sum it up, it's that they take up a lot of time, they're not due to something like drugs or medication, and they're not a symptom of another medical condition. So, OCD can be caused biologically, so there might be some sort of link to any abnormalities in the basal ganglia or frontal lobe, which we know is parts of the brain. Environmentally, which could be depression, eating disorders, drug abuse, and that's of course all things that are not dealt to you at birth but are more of a nurture. Hereditary, and this is debated, and there's no real evidence as to whether OCD is hereditary or not, but I'm sure that in the future there will be. So, checkers. Checkers are people who constantly check to prevent bad things from happening. So this isn't just like, oh, you're gonna double check that you turn your curling iron off, whereas it's gonna be like you're gonna go leave your house, then come back and check it, and then you're gonna leave and then double guess yourself and then go back and check it again. So it gets obsessive, and the stimulus would be thinking that something bad would happen to them, and then the action would be checking. So that would be what provides temporary relief until, of course, the stimulus would come spontaneously to them, which is the obsession will come back again. So one potential solution that we came up with would be to have someone else do it so that you don't double guess yourself, whereas it's someone else. So hoarders are individuals who hold on to things just in case they might need it. Like a newspaper, even though you could find any information online these days, if you want to hoard all of them because you might need one page of it. So according to the stimulus in action, the stimulus would be like a lack of control and wanting to control one's own circumstances, and the action taken would be hoarding. So for counters and arrangers, these people are obsessed with symmetry and order. So for at this restaurant, if there was a coworker who had or who was like giving out crayons and cups, if they had to have each crayon have two of the same color cup or vice versa, they have to be the same and orderly for every table, and if there's not that exact pattern that they want, then it like bothers them and they physically get upset. And cleaners are people who are upset by surfaces that they think are dirty or contaminated. And so they might have a long cleaning ritual that includes them in their home. Like I know this one girl who I had two classes with in 7th grade, she would always bring her own Lysol wipes and she wouldn't sit down unless she wiped everything over. And so the stimuli that would be um, the obviously the dirty surface, and the action would be cleaning it. And so uh, the lady in the photo is from Glee, and she has this disorder. So thinking back to the hoarding type of OCD, that's not very neat, but still, it's funny to think that um, if someone has OCD, they can be hoarding, or like the exact opposite, which would be everything to be clean and orderly. So it's funny to see how different types of OCD can contrast each other. And OCD patients may even have all these cleaning rituals, but they don't enjoy them. It's more something that they feel like they have to do, or else they get upset by it, and it affects. I mean, it affects their everyday lives. So, um, yeah. So a modern connection is this video, but with this screencast, I'm not sure if it's gonna let me play it with sound. So I think I could just put the link at the end so you can watch it. But it's about connecting coronavirus with OCD. It's actually pretty interesting. So, I mean, it's very relevant to today. And then here is a QR code to scan for our quiz so that you can check to see how much you learned. Okay. I hope that your family is having healthy. Goodbye.